Hey my loves, what's up? Zyra Lesmier, and I am the president of the Special Education Parent Advisory Council, Sepac, out of Rochester, New York. I'm relaying this message, I'm creating this video because this morning I had made a post on my personal page for those who follow me where I wrote, my son will not be a statistic because of the school district and its messed up system. I can, to an extent, depending on who's receiving that message, I want to clarify something. I know that it is not a one-sided responsibility. I cannot put the responsibility on the district. What I'm posting is my perspective as a parent who is empowered, who is a part of the conversation, who is proactive, who pretty much will teleport to her son's school. That is where I'm coming from. Because I'm the parent that is doing everything I could possibly do. And in my opinion, the needle's still here. It hasn't gone better. And it's basically like this. If we were to look at, it's like this. So it's not, in my opinion, progressively getting better. There, in my experience with what I'm going through. It blows my mind because I feel like I have to break it down like that, and it's just annoying. But here we are. I am the type of person that I really do give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm the type of person that I give folks a grade A. I'm all about collaborating. I'm all about cohesion. I'm all about that. That's what I peddle. When it comes to CPAC, that's what I'm empowering parents to do. Work with your building leaders. Work with your building leaders. Develop a team. Have constant conversations. Find ways to give your child a better experience so he or she could have a successful school year. That's what I'm empowering. That's what I'm imploring. But if I'm over here empowering and imploring parents to do that, and then I'm actually applying it, and I'm frustrated myself. I'm not sitting here saying that my son is a saint. I'm not. I own my son. I know what my son is hitting for. I know who he is. I know what he's about. And I know that we have some work to do. But he is a child who receives specialized services for a reason, because there is a diagnosis. That is not me deflecting. That is me simply stating that he is a child receiving specialized services. And so to that, I have an expectation that the folks that are employed by the school district, and the fact that there were several meetings to implement his individualized education plan, his IEP, to formulate and write out his functional behavior assessment, his behavior intervention plan, on top of that, a safety plan. For all those different things that we've taken time off of work, vacation time, to sit down and implement, for those things not being appropriately utilized so that way we could prevent triggers, we're able to redirect them and de-escalate any situation. Getting constant phone calls of his behavior and the things that are going on in his classroom. When the classroom is a whole, there's instructional issues, there's a substitute teacher, there's the paraprofessional that unfortunately I feel is not their fault, but can use more training. There's a lot of just issues. And it's all compounding, because again, here we are, this is the third year, and this is the same stuff. It's the same conversation. Despite all the information that's in black and white, now we gotta reinvent the wheel, write out another one, because now he's eloping. Then there's all these other behaviors that are coming out, where it's like, are you not taking into consideration how those behaviors have compounded from year to year, what he's exposed to on a daily basis in that classroom, where there are behaviors like his, or if not worse than his. And so if a kid is in that kind of a classroom setting, and let's say this continues 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, what are we exposing to? What are we exposing my son to? And him psychologically and mentally thinking like this is the norm for him. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, okay, you guys are smart enough. I don't understand why I gotta elaborate on that. And parents, your kids, if your child's receiving specialized services, have you been in their classroom? Have you seen the instruction? Have you seen the organization? And I'm not saying that every single class is like that. All I'm basically saying is that, are you monitoring that? I mean, it's kind of a rhetorical question, because if we were all truly monitoring it, then our school district wouldn't be in the condition that it's in, because some parents just not going to stand for it. But here we are today, right? I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, and I'm tired, and I have no faith. At this particular moment, I don't have any faith. That's despite me having conversations with people. I have to sit back and, take a mental day, because I just don't feel comfortable at work where I'm going to receive some kind of a phone call being told what my son has done after the fact, versus, we tried to de-escalate the situation by implementing things that we read off of his BIP, FBA, IEP. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just too much work to do. Sepac is to empower parents. Sepac is so that parents can have that seat at that table with members of the executive cabinet from our school district, so that you can express your concerns, also gain knowledge on what you need to do so that you can navigate the system and have tools in your toolbox so you can advocate on behalf of your child. But there are certain people that I can think of that are very aggressive in their message, and I can understand why they're aggressive, because it's beyond that. It is deep rooted. The systemic issues are deep rooted. So I know that. I get it. The system's working as designed. And so when I see things like, oh, it's a community initiative, well, I know that. I'm not discounting some of the work that has been done on behalf of the district to help improve. But then you get hit with this news of the $30 million, deficit, mismanagement of funds. What are you guys doing over there? It's annoying. I personally feel like I'm alone in this, even though I know better. You sit back and look at some of the things that I mentioned in my posts. Folks don't hold folks accountable. Teachers and union contracts. So what do I mean by that? First of all, who's negotiating these contracts? And why is it that these teachers, there's a lot of teachers, not saying all the teachers, but there's a lot of teachers that pretty much aren't just doing their jobs. Or they're basically saying, you know what, we got this, and the supports that are trying, that special education is trying to push in, they're being declined. Parents, I need you guys to step up, because there's certain supports and services that your children should be receiving, because the goal of special education is to reintegrate your child back into general education so that way they can receive a Regents diploma. Implicit bias. School district has a poor infrastructure, poor government monitoring, an ugly sense of entitlement from adults. Adult focus, not for our children. They're really not, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. And let me make sure that I make something perfectly clear. I'm not saying that all of the district is not adult focus. I'm not saying that all the district is adult focus and not for our children. It's just that, in my opinion, there's more wicked people than white hats, if that makes sense. There's more people that there's more people that are okay with the status quo than those who want to make transformative change. I do feel that the school district, it's a failed system. I personally do feel that we need to knock it down and build it back up. But, that goes to say, that we need more informed parents. We need more parents that, are empowered, that are pretty much tired of the way things are, that want to make a change. But I get the barriers. I get the decisions that folks need to make in a sense of work or protesting, work or going to meetings, work or participating in school, after school activities. I get it, because I'm one of those parents. It's just me. So I can only do so much. So I'm not just saying that it's only the district. But the thing is that when you got a kid that's a part of a classroom and he's in there 8 hours a day and the things that he's exposed to, I just don't have faith that if we continue in this path, if I look at him at the 3rd grade and I look at him in the 10th grade, what reassurances do I have that the path that he's in, we're going to be able to change the trajectory in him having a high school diploma, being successful? And you also have to take into consideration that these are the same children that are going to be a part of this community. I know that folks know that. Like, I'm speaking to the choir. I know we know this. I'm not saying nothing no different. I'm also tired of people telling me that I can't fix things that have been happening forever. The last person wasn't able to fix it. Who am I to think that I'll fix it? These are issues that will take a lifetime to fix. Okay, so then you're basically telling me that my son, based on the current path that he's in, because of what he's exposed to at school, is just going to be another criminal. Is that what I'm to expect? Or I'm just being dramatic? Help me out here. What I want is influencers. What I want is, people. I feel like it needs to be a different political arena. Like, it can't just be Rochester. It can't be the local political pool of people that we essentially have to represent our community. We need to go beyond that. Like, it needs to be radical. Because I'm not the only person having this conversation. Like, someone can sit back and look at this video and they're like a high-level political official and say, well, she hasn't talked to me yet. Well, what have you done? Look at the current system for what it is. What have you done different? Why would I talk to you? Clearly, it has to be beyond you. So help me. Help me understand what else can be done within within our city, who I could talk to. I've been given a ton of names, but I've also seen the same people in action. And I just feel like as a community, we're all desensitized. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have the answers. What I'm trying to do is encourage people to come out of just, thinking that this is what it is and nothing is going to change mentality, to let me at least put forth some effort. I'm not asking you guys to basically drop everything that you're doing, but effort is resharing this message. Effort is, coming to our meetings if you possibly can. Effort is, I'm going to put a messenger together, and start pouring out information, just like we pour information on our Sepac page. What I'm basically saying is I'm casting a wider net and I'm looking for more parents, and the level of participation doesn't matter. We just need to support each other. There has to be more parent engagement. What is it going to take? Because clearly Trevion Rose passing, everybody forgot about that already. Clearly, my son is eloping now. My son is running out of the building. My son was beat up the other day, and he comes home and he tells me, Mom, the bus attendant allowed for me to get beat up by a bigger kid. I'm like, what do you mean? I got beat up by a big kid and the bus attendant allowed it. So I, of course, let everybody know what happened. And so they did an investigation, they pulled the video, and from what I understand, the bus attendant is now fired. Now, I don't know the details of what happened. I didn't see the video, but clearly if the person is terminated, then there's validity in what DJ is saying. But what does that say? What does that mean? As a parent, given that scenario, given that there's an adult basically allowing certain things to happen on the bus, because you know what that was? That was burnout. That was frustration. Like, you know what? He need his butt whooped, so I'm gonna let this kid beat him. Like, I don't do nothing. But that's not the way. That's not, like, kids are gonna be kids. I get that. Like, I get fights are gonna happen. I was young, I fought. I understand that. But there still also has to be a sense of responsibility for the safety of our children. And if you're that burnt out, where if my son's running out to school and you're pretty much like, I'm not about to chase this kid. I'm over chasing this kid. Then that's how come I'm at work sick. That's how come I'm taking a mental day, because I'm really trying to decipher what is my next move, because I feel like I'm failing my kid. Every single time I get a phone call to be told about my son's behaviors and all the things that are going on, I feel like I'm just dropping the ball, that I'm just a horrible parent. And the sad part about it is because there's burnout. There isn't the appropriate the training. Not saying that there isn't any training. Let me not say that. That's wrong. I don't know if well, let me say this. I believe that the training is being given, but with the training being given and then it being implemented, I feel like that's where the disconnect is. I could train a person all day, but if they're not implementing what their training is, and that's what I'm saying, like it's a systemic issue in the sense that a lot of the behaviors of the people who work for the district is so deep rooted that they've been in the system for so long that they're so desensitized. Let's forge a kid's attendance card saying he's at school, but in reality, he's at the bottom of the Genesee River. What else is it going to take? What else do we need to do? Comment. Put suggestions out there. Direct message me. I'm looking for more collaboration. I'm casting a wider net. Sepac is one of the highest functioning parent groups in this district. We're doing everything that we possibly can. And we're looking and we're looking to be in the schools, in the buildings, because we want to provide support for our parents. And the thing is that this has to be an all hands on deck approach. I can't have administrators that now you see parents coming through that are empowered, that can have that conversation with you, that knows what to expect when it comes to processes and procedures and workflows and things like that, because we have parents who go through our monthly meetings. And so when we ask those questions, it's not to undermine you, it's not to put you in the defense, it's to say, hey, listen, I know the conversation, I know what should happen and what shouldn't happen. Why can't we work together? Because I'm getting both sides. I'm getting folks that do want to be, collaborative, that do want to make transformative change, to be a part of transformative change rather. But then I'm also getting folks, because I know how to carry that conversation, that is just deflecting, defensive, deflecting attitude. And I'm sitting here dumbfounded, like, wow, I thought we were team all the way, but I guess not. And I mean, I get it. I get the frustrations. I get that the level of just things happening in the school district. I know that there's a lot. I'm not discounting that. But that's how come we need our parents to stand up. Because our parents need to hold faculty responsible, accountable. But at the same time, like I tell my teachers and my everybody, listen, whatever you could tell me, like, first of all, I need you to have an honest conversation about my son. Second of all, yes, I've taken certain parenting courses, but at the same time, if there's anything in addition that you could tell me, that there can be continuity in the sense of what I can implement at home, so that way when he goes to school, there's that continuity from home and school, and trust me, it's not for the lack of trying. But I'm open to those conversations. This is a collaborative effort. There needs to be cohesion. So if more and more parents, regardless of what you post under this video, regardless of how, when this video is shared, because I hope it's shared, but whoever comes to whatever school, when there's questions about, you know, what should be implemented and the services that their children should be receiving, is not to undermine you guys. This is so that we can work together. You can't peddle that you want parents and cohesion and us working together when we're empowered, and now you have parents that pretty much can have that conversation and you're like, well, who does she think she is? Well, what is it? What do you want? Do you want us to stay dumb, or do you want us to be empowered? I will put information in the caption of this video. I'm asking for support. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for this video to be shared. I have creative ways of how we can bring, again, emphasis to mental health, emphasis to special education, emphasis to improving this broken system. And I really want to team up with folks. I want to team up with influencers. Lord willing, if I could team up with celebrities, I want to team up and make a difference. I know that this is not just a Rochester issue. I know that this is a nationwide issue. This is everywhere. I know that. But I feel that if we put it on a platform that is really going to yield results in the sense of us pulling on folks' heartstrings so they can identify where they stand in the sense of, are you a part of the problem or are you the solution? Because you also got to remember, with you sitting back and not doing nothing, that is also a choice. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to everybody's responses, suggestions, recommendations. Again, I'm not sitting here acting like I have all the answers and I know, because I don't. But at the same time, that's not going to make me sit back because I don't know. If anything, that's what I'm trying to do, is empower people so we can learn more and be a unified front to do right by our kids, because these issues need to be addressed right now. And honestly, it is moving too slow, because by the time, if, and that's banking on if, because what's been inconsistent is the administration of the school district when it comes to high-level administrators. That's been inconsistent. Look at how many superintendents we have. Lord willing, I hope Teddy stays forever. But we don't know if that's the case. So for me to bank on the progression when it comes to change, I can't sit on that. We need to do something ourselves now. Whether we're pushing more parents to volunteer and have more parents in the classroom somehow, recommend, put those suggestions out there. Let's work together. Let's have this dialogue and let's push it out there. Let's have an ongoing dialogue. Again, Sepac meets on a monthly basis. Our next meeting is November 18th at Central Office from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Childcare, refreshments, and Spanish interpreter is going to be there. If you have any questions, 585-210-3183. Please find us on our Facebook page. It'll be in the caption of this video, at Sepac Rock. We also have an Instagram handle, at Sepac Rock. My name is Zyra Lespier. I am the Special Education Parent Advisory President. And again, I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. We need to do more. I need your help. I humbly need your help. Let's just rock out and do right by our kids, because it's the right thing to do. Take care. Bye.